They don't care anymore. They quit watching, they quit participating, they abdicate, and everything goes to hell in a handbag real quick. I found, as you will find if you take a trip to Europe also, the Europeans do not live in any kind of any life approaching the affluence that the average American lives with every day of his life. There's a lot of talk about poverty in this country, folks. I'm telling you right now, unless you've traveled overseas and have really seen poverty, you do not know the meaning of the word. No one in this country is living in poverty. No one in this country is really poor in the real sense of the word, as you will find poor people in other countries of this world. Even the Americans that are the least well off in this country are so far ahead of the poor people in other countries that it is absolutely amazing. And they have an opportunity to take themselves out of that poverty in this country, as they do not have in other countries. If Americans choose to remain at a level of poverty, uneducated, unable to work because they have no skills, I'm going to tell you right now, folks, you can disagree, you can jump up and down, you can holler, you can call me whatever names you want to. It's absolutely true. It is of their own choosing, because everyone in this country has whatever opportunity they wish to take, and they can make of their lives whatever they wish to make of their lives. The problem with most Americans who find themselves in those conditions, however, just don't believe they can do it, so they don't even try. But this whole country is nothing but stories of people who've come out of poverty and made great empires in business, in the arts, in everything that you can think of. Because they just did it. And you can do that too. There is, around the world, a great restlessness. Everyone knows that things are changing. Everyone knows that nothing is going to be the same. Everyone is afraid because the unknown is what upsets human beings more than anything. And everybody is looking for answers, and no one is getting any answers. And that was one of the things that people expressed in England, most of all, is what's happening, what's going on, what is going to come of all of this. Well, what's going to come of it, folks, is what we make of it. Change is coming. There's no way that anyone is going to stop change. But we can direct the path of that change, and we can make it into something good, or we can let it become something bad, or anywhere in between. But it's going to be our doing. You see, the only way that it can turn out to be terribly bad and repressive, the only way that they can put us into chains, make us slaves. By chains, I mean figuratively, not literally. However, it could be literally for many of us, people like me, who are openly resisting and who are stirring you to action. We can make the world whatever we wish it to be through our actions or abdications. If you want the future to be terrible, if you want to go backwards into slavery, then I suggest, dear listeners, you do nothing. Now, please, don't give me this bit about I'm just one lonely, helpless little human being and there's nothing that I can do. Because it's just not true. It's just not true. If you look back to the history of this nation, and even the history of the world, you'll find that everything that's ever been accomplished in this world has been accomplished by one lonely, helpless, scared human being who dared to do what others said could not be done. Who dared to do what others said could not be done. People have told me I can't do what I'm doing. They told me I couldn't write a book. They told me if I did, I'd be killed. They told me I could never get my own radio show and I'd never be able to broadcast to anybody. and if I did, I'd be killed. They told me that no one would listen. They told me that I would be attacked and that my credibility and my life would be destroyed. And I said, I can, and I will, and I did. And I was attacked, viciously, and I'm still attacked, and will always be attacked as long as I do what I do, because anyone throughout the history of the world who dared to speak the truth was always attacked. That's what this tendency toward political correctness is. Politically correct thinking is Nazi thinking. It's the control of your thoughts. It's thinking and professing something that you know is not true simply because it is politically desirable rather than truthful. You see? The suppression of Galileo by the Catholic Church was politically correct, but it was a lie. It was untrue, because Galileo was right. Galileo was speaking the truth, but he had to suffer and be imprisoned for the rest of his life, simply because he dared to speak the truth, because it was not politically correct. Anyone who propounds and advocates the policy of political correctness in your speech and writing is a fool, is already a slave in their mind, and are attempting to force that slavery onto the rest of us. Political correctness is a lie. Carter has appointed someone to his cabinet who is a propounder of political correctness. Her name is Donna Shalala. She was the head of a large university in her home state. And let me tell you what she did, folks. She advocated, demanded, and enforced political correctness, and she forbade any professor, any head of any department, any administrator, or any student to ever utter the words Founding Fathers. Founding Fathers. And this person has been appointed to occupy a cabinet position in the government of the United States of America. Donna Shalala has to go. Donna Shalala has to go. Bill Clinton has to go. You see, because they're all socialists, and you're going to see them destroy this country even more than it's been destroyed, inch by inch. Inch by inch. You are already watching it happen. You can already see it in the first week of his presidency. You saw it beginning to take place. This is going to be the most disappointing, most aggravating, most anger-inciting presidency in the history of this country. You mark my words. That's another prediction that I am making. And they knew that in Europe. Oh, I heard that from many people in Europe. I already knew it. You see, Bill Clinton didn't win by the popular vote, he won by the electoral vote. Presidents aren't elected by popular vote in this country. Popular vote means nothing. And Bill Clinton's presidency was ensured when it was decided that he would be the next president at the Bilderberg Group meeting in 1991 in Baden-Baden, Germany. And I stated, when I knew that they had determined that he would be the next president, I stated in all my lectures from that point on that Bill Clinton would be the next president, unequivocally, with no reservations whatsoever, that it was a certainty. And you saw that it was a certainty. The Bilderberg Group is so powerful, folks, that George Bush didn't even dare to really conduct a campaign against Bill Clinton, and didn't even decide to even try or even make the American people think that he was conducting a campaign until it was way too late for him to win the electoral vote. One of the things that disturbed me deeply while I was in England was the apparent glee and willingness of the English people to be subjects. Where in the United States of America, it is traditionally been our pride to be kings. To be kings. And it is in our law. So, folks, I hope you learned something tonight. For those of you out there listening, good night, and God bless you. And to those of you in England, I'll be back. Food restaurant, or go to a small restaurant, or an Italian restaurant, or Chinese food restaurant, and all four people can generally eat for about $25, and everybody be happy, and everybody will be full. In England, I would venture to say, from my experience over that short period of time, going to regular fast food and regular small restaurants, that for four people to eat in England anywhere at the cheapest place that you can find will cost you probably $40 or more. It is very expensive. Now, the exchange rate, I noticed from the time that I left Los Angeles, in fact, in Los Angeles you could exchange your money for £1, I believe, was $1.46. When we arrived in England, at the airport, £1 was $1.62 or 63 cents. At the hotel, the Hilton, £1 was $1.70 some odd cents. I forget exactly, but it was over $1.70. So the exchange rate varies, and what I noticed is you're much better off to exchange your money here in the United States